The Premier League season is finally over, and I'm glad it's over. And while Manchester City have their four-peat, while Chelsea and Newcastle finish above us and we finish in 8th place, if we win the FA Cup and we get back into the Europa League, it can be somewhat half-saved. It will never be an acceptable season, but Europa League won't be the end of the world. At least we get a trophy, but what a bad season it's been, and we will do a season review. We'll probably do a live stream and more details talking about the season, but I want to talk about Manchester United versus Brighton. I switched off my watch long. I was so fed up of watching the game, and then we scored 2 goals, so that teaches me, eh? And I want to talk about Hojlund. I want to talk about this season, Ten Hag's future, some news coming out about Ten Hag staying, a couple of things. But Manchester United 2, Brighton 0, awful first half, completely outplayed by Brighton. I was bored. Lisandro Martinez had a good game. Amrabat had a terrible game. FA Cup final, I think 2 back-to-back wins could be positive going into the FA Cup final, considering that's wins against Newcastle and, of course, Brighton. I think Villa getting smashed 5-0 by Crystal Palace makes me feel a little bit better about that 4-0 disgraceful defeat. But he took off Martinez and Bruno early, preparation for the FA Cup final, and that's really going to determine if this is a bad season or a disgraceful season. If we lose the FA Cup final, which we probably will, it does automatically become a disgraceful season. But can we talk about Rasmus Hojlund, please? What's a goal from Rasmus Hojlund? Back-to-back games, he's come off the bench, he's got the ball and he's made goals for himself. It's not like he's in the box and he's had it on a plate. Rasmus Hojlund has made 2 goals from himself through dribbling, getting past his man, finding space and then finishing brilliantly. Like the finish from Hojlund for both goals, Nicholas Jackson ain't scoring that. I mean, Haaland misses a lot of those chances. I mean, Hojlund is got it. Whatever it is that you need to be a top striker, Hojlund has got it. Manchester United just need to keep getting it out of him and not get rid of it. Do you know what I mean? Hojlund has it. The problem is Man United is the problem. Now, Man United need to create service for Hojlund. Manchester United need to build around Hojlund. They need to build around Maino. They need to build around Bruno. They need to build around players. You've got Garnacho, Ahmed, exciting players. Elise, if he came in with Bruno in the half spaces, Hojlund ahead, Maino, get that top DM to partner Bruno and Maino, sort out that defensive line with the injuries. There is something there. There is something there. There is something positive to build off at Manchester United. And Rasmus Hojlund, I'm going to say this now, 16 goals in his debut season for United. If he scores in the FA Cup final, that could be 17, 18, could be 19 if he got a hat-trick. I don't think he's going to get a hat-trick. Maybe, let's say maybe 17. He might get one. A guy that got 9 goals when we signed him for Atalanta last season in the Serie A. Everyone was laughing. 9 goals, Rasmus Hojlund. 9 goals, Rasmus Hojlund. And we were saying when we signed Hojlund, ultimately, we're going to need a more experienced striker. I don't know if we can rely on this guy to lead the line, but Manchester United being Manchester United, were incredibly unprepared. But obviously, you can't rely on Martial to stay fit, and Hojlund was the guy that was going to lead the line. And, for him to get 16 goals, what an achievement. If you'd have said to me at the beginning of the season, Hojlund gets 16 goals, I said, what a season. 15 goals, 16 goals. I said, if he gets 15 goals, that's a good season. If he gets 12, it's decent. He's got 16 goals with very little service. If you think about the little service he gets, he could have had 20 goals this season at age 20 in his debut season at United. Now, reason I've got a lot of respect for Hojlund is he works incredibly hard. He's had a lot of hate. He's had a lot of people saying he wasn't good enough. Just a week ago, people were saying he's not good enough. He's just scored 2 amazing goals coming off from the bench. He looks like he's got life back in him, energy back in him. We know what Hojlund's capable of in the Champions League, that run of games where he's, youngest player to score in 6 games in a row, back-to-back goals in the last 2 games. Hojlund is definitely a confidence player. You see the confidence giving him new life. But there's a good player in Hojlund. He wrestles. Yes, he has a few naivety, a few things that need to be improved. But there's a benchmark. There's a player there. That's what I mean. Every player at his age is going to be rough, raw. There's going to be areas to improve. But to get 16 goals in this dead-ass Manchester United side with no service, with no one passing to you, and to be scoring goals like that, that Hojlund is mint. You know that Hojlund is good. And it was really frustrating me, the hate and stick he was getting. Hojlund needs a support striker next season, no doubt about it. No top club goes in with one such striker. Arsenal have got Havertz and Jesus that they mix between, but Trossard can play there and Nketiah can play there. If Man City lose Haaland, they've got, okay, we'll just play a Julian Alvarez there. Every team has multiple options. So we do need a support striker for Hojlund. But I think, to be honest, we don't need to spend big. A lot of people are saying, Chokerez. We don't need to go and waste the money on Chokerez. When, for me, the problem is in the midfield. It's about creating chances for the striker. For me, the most important position is the player that's going to partner Maino and Bruno in midfield next season. Then bringing in an Elise, so there's someone on the wing creating for Hojlund, and then fixing the back line. We need probably 3 additions to the back line, a proper DM and Elise, and that's key. And then you could bring in a support striker, a Joselu kind of type player to help Hojlund, take the little bit of pressure off them in case he gets injured as well. But I think Hojlund's shown, stop giving the kid hate. back-to-back insane goals, 16 goals. He's got a better goals per minute ratio than Nicholas Jackson this season, despite having like half the service Nicholas Jackson has got. Like, it's absolutely crazy. He averages a goal, I think, every 188 minutes, which is basically every other game in this Manchester United team. He averages a goal contribution every other game. I think he's got 20 goal contributions for the season, or 19 goal contributions for the season in this United club. So I have a lot of respect for Hojlund because he's 21. He's got the media turning on him, writing him off. All, you know, that guy making songs, Hojlund needs a miracle. He's been trolled, he's been memed. And people try and make out that Hojlund's had a bad season. He has like 4 bad games in a row where he's just come back from injury. And people are, oh, he's had a bad season. He's getting trolled and memed. He's a 20. He's just turned 21-year-old kid in the United side that's poop. It's the worst United side we've had on record since 1980. Give the boy a rest. Dalot got a goal, and I'm really happy Diogo Dalot got a goal today. He's probably been our player of the season, so we deserve to end up with a goal. But one thing I don't like is people don't like United and like to give our players stick. But the one thing I don't understand is when our own fans give players stick, like Hojlund, Garnacho. People saying Garnacho is rubbish. Garnacho's exhausted. See, Hojlund was a lot better coming off the bench. But Bruno Fernandes is a player we've got to keep. Some fans want him sold, but Bruno Fernandes created 114 chances in the Premier League this season, 10 more than any other player. He's the first player since Eden Hazard to create the most chances in back-to-back Premier League seasons. 119 last season, 114 this season. I tell you what, Bruno Fernandes, we've got to keep him. He is a top-class player. And I think today, you know, he was all right, but he came off early. We're saving him for the FA Cup final. For me, 8th place disgrace. We could have finished lower when you look at the underlying numbers, but I like Ahmad, I like Garnacho, I like Maino, I like Bruno, I like Hojlund, I like Martinez, I like Dalot. I think there's a player in Onana, I think there's a player in Mount, and I still believe that Marcus Rashford can get back to his best at Manchester United. I think there is a base there. I really like Luke Shaw, but we do need a left back, let's be honest there. There's a base there. Whether Ten Hag will be the manager or not is something we've got to discuss, but I try and be positive in that sense. Now, I will say there was a lot of reports and indications saying that Ten Hag is set to stay. And I don't know if that's because we've won 2 games in a row and the media don't know what Ten Hag's future is. So if we lose, they say that he's going to Saturday. If we win, they say that he's staying because, you know, they don't actually know, you know, what's going on. I think, look, De Zerbi's going to be free now. Tuchel's going to be free now. I understand if Ineos sacked Ten Hag because this season has been a disgrace, but also Ineos are aware of the circumstances and they do have a lot of sympathy for Ten Hag because of the injuries, the setbacks. They know there's bigger problems than the manager and they have to fix the club before they can fix the manager, before they can fix the team. Fixing the club is what you need to fix the team, so they need to fix the club first. So maybe Ten Hag will stay. Look, if Ten Hag's sacked, I'm not going to complain too much about it because I understand it. Personally, I'd like Ten Hag to stay. I know that the system isn't great and I know that we could be doing better, but I like what he's done with Maino. I like what he's done with the youth. I think if he can get the right players and profiles in under a good system, good recruitment at Ineos, Ten Hag could be a good manager to lead Manchester United forward. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion of mine, but it is. But I know that there's bigger problems at the club. Now, look, City have won the 4P. It's not a good end to the season, but as I said, the FA Cup is what determines if it's a bad season or a disgraceful season. You know, I'm acting as if it's a bad season, but it could be a disgraceful season, especially if we lose the FA Cup in bad style. But people say that things could get better if we stick with Ten Hag. I think, is it too early to part ways with him? He's had 2 years with the squad. We have to start completely over if we change managers. I know it isn't great, but Ten Hag believes that when he gets the right players in, he'll be all right. And I think with the right players, with the right recruitment, with the right structure at Ineos, there could be a future there for Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag could stay, and I'd like Ten Hag to stay. If he sat for Southgate, disgrace. If he sat for Tuchel, I understand it, not going to complain. But yeah, anyway, people, thank you for watching. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. I will do a season review probably live tonight or live tomorrow morning. So do subscribe for that. Thank you for watching. Bye.